This is going to be my next project. It's a 1970 Datsun 240Z. I've had it for about 2.5 years. I haven't done a single thing to it. It's been sitting right where it sits because I've had other projects I've been working on. This thing had been rear-ended back in the mid-90s, and when they put it back together, they grafted on a new rear clip, and then they did all these other modifications with the tail lights and the rear spoiler, and you can see it's kind of separating right in here. I'm gonna do some repair work there. Mostly it's pretty straight, seems like a pretty solid car. I know it's got some reinforcement under the framework to help support the power of this 350 Chevy V8. Somebody had stolen the carburetor and the distributor out of it before I got the car. It hasn't run in or been driven in 12 to 15 years. It has Willwood disc brakes all the way around. Over here's the wheels. I've got them looking nice. I just need to get the tires on them now. Those are Inky old school wheels. They were on the car when I got it, so they're from the mid-90s or so. It's nice that Datsun put drain plugs in their gas tanks, because what that'll let me do, even if there's no gas in there, I can pull that plug out and get an idea of how much gunk is sitting on the bottom of the tank. Well, not too bad. A little discolored, but it's not as nasty as it could have been. I've seen them where they're just like mud in the bottom of the tank. It's got an electric fuel pump on it right there. That's a Mallory, so it's probably a pretty good quality fuel pump. So what I'm going to do now is take that out of there, disassemble it, make sure it's not all froze up or gunked up inside. I got to replace all these rubber lines. They're as hard as concrete. There's no flex in them at all. Put a new fuel filter in. I think that does it for back here. The fuel pump has been disassembled and all cleaned out. It actually looked pretty good in there. I've got new rubber gas hoses, new fuel filter up there. One thing I have left to do is hook up this electrical wire right here, but I'm leaving that off for right now because when I hook the battery up and do some electrical checking, I don't want this fuel pump coming on until I'm ready for it. The first thing I want to do is get it running. So I spent a little time cleaning up the top of the engine here. I put new radiator hoses on, new fuel filters. You saw the one in the back there. There's another one up front here. I got a new oil filter. This thing's got a oil cooler up front there with the remote mounting of the oil filter right down there. And I just put fresh oil in that filter on it. I'm getting ready to put the distributor in it now. And I've got this little deal here. This actually was in the car when I got it, but this is a drive that meshes with the oil pump down below. So I can put a drill motor on that and rotate it and build up oil pressure. This distributor I'm putting in here is a Mallory magnetic breakerless distributor. Apparently it had some kind of a Mallory distributor before because the electrical connector is the perfect one to match up with this distributor. I set the harmonic balancer at about 10 degrees before top dead center. And I'm going to set this, put the retaining clamp on there and lock it down right at in line with the number 1 spark plug wire on here. And that should be a good place for it to try to start. All my spark plug wires are hooked up to the distributor now. So I'm ready to put the carburetor on. Here's the carburetor I got for it. It's a Quick Fuel Technologies dual pumper, mechanical secondaries, electric choke. Holly sells these. This is a brand new one. They're nice carburetors. And I've got jets, the appropriate size for this altitude. We're about a mile above sea level here. That was kind of hard to read. That's 67s to go in there. You go about one size smaller for every couple thousand in altitude. So I either got to go 2 steps or 3 steps below. And I'm going to start off at 3 steps below. I've got this Mr. Gasket fuel line. I've got to actually go on this side right here. Okay, I just put a battery in it. I put some gas in it. Before I hook this gas line up to the carburetor here, I want to check the fuel pressure. I've got a pressure regulator, fuel pressure regulator right here. So I'm going to turn the key on now and let that fuel pump push some gas up here and see what the pressure's set at. Okay, I got a leak right there. Okay, that's not what I wanted. But I'm glad I wasn't trying to start the engine and have electrical power all over the place, catch something on fire. I don't know if you noticed, but the gauge went all the way, pegged the gauge, so apparently this fuel regulator is not, maybe needs to be taken apart and cleaned out or something. It was coming right out from under this nut. You can see there's a little indentation there, so I'm not sure if that's a pressure bypass or what that is. But I'll get that figured out. Okay, here's the problem. I took these 4 screws off of here, pulled this cap off. There's a spring right here. There's a diaphragm right here. And this thing is shot. I can see air around the sides through here. So I have to get a new diaphragm or replace the pressure regulator. Now this is a Holley pressure regulator, so hopefully they make replacement diaphragms. I got my new fuel pressure regulator diaphragm kit here. Comes with a new diaphragm and a spring. The diaphragm itself looks exactly like the old one that came out. So it'll go right in here like this. Now the spring, this little red one is the old one. This is the one that came with the kit. You can see this one's a little bit taller, and if I compress them, it's a little bit stiffer than this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new one in there and see if I can get it adjusted properly. If not, then I may be putting the old one back in. I'm going to go ahead and back this out a little bit. So that I don't overpressure anything to start with. I guess I'm ready to try it again. I'm going to go turn the key on, turn that fuel pump on. Hopefully no leaks this time. Okay, it's not leaking. And I don't know what's going on. Nothing seems to be changing. Starting over now. I'm going to go ahead and put this original spring back in there. Apparently it's the correct spring. That other one I think is just too stiff. It wouldn't let me adjust the pressure. And for this carburetor, I only need about 6.5 psi. That's what they recommend. And I'm going to go with this little red spring that was in there. Apparently it's the right one. It was in there for a reason. This is looking better. We're on about 5 right there, so I'll go ahead and screw this in a little bit and see if I can get it to increase to about 6.5. Okay, you can see it's going up. There's 6.5. So I'm going to call it good right there. Okay, I'm a little off on the timing, so let me move the distributor a little bit. See if that helps. I'm not sure I went the right way. Sounded better. Come back a tiny bit more. Trying to get it close to where it'll stay running, and then I'll throw a timing light on it. I think I've got the distributor set pretty close. It's pretty responsive. Okay, I think I'm gonna end this video right here. I've got it running. Engine seems to be pretty solid. I still have a little bit of minor tuning to do, I believe, maybe with the carburetor and with the ignition timing. But The next step is I want to get it out and drive it. I don't have any clutch or brake pedal right now, so I've got to go through the brakes and the clutch master and slave cylinder and get those operational, then I can take it out for a drive. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and hope to see you on the next video.